Shahed, can you mute your device, please?
Good evening, ladies.
Yeah, it's open.
And gentlemen. Many thanks and a warm welcome to today's session, the Gronthee Facebook live series, 100 poets around the world for love. Some of you perhaps already know, and some of you perhaps quite new, those who are watching, especially about the Gronthee. Gronthee is mainly predominantly South Asian literary platform here in the UK, but day by day it is becoming quite globe-centric, world-centric. 30 years ago, it started its journey to promote new voice, new literature, experimental literature, and it was quite Bengal-centric, a revolutionary literary magazine. It started its journey about 1992 or 93. So in 30 years, it is promoting now the beauty of world literature, world philosophy. And some of you know about Gronthee's great initiative, International Poetry Festival, which gets organized here in London. It was supposed to happen also this year in some prestigious venues that include Oxford University and some academic venues in London. But unfortunately for COVID, perhaps we have to cancel this. But great things that through this online series, we are connecting many prominent and powerful and experimental voices, experimental poets from different languages, different worlds, and different corners of the world. Thanks to all of you who have been supporting this online initiative since it began. And we wish that you will continue supporting this. And you will be with us while we are doing or promoting the splendor, the magnificence, and the power of experimental literature through phenomenal activities. Firstly, through publishing newspaper, publishing literary magazines, but also through live events like international poetry festivals, poetry reading event in different parts, in different cities, mainly in Europe, mainly in England, but we will try to spread soon different countries as well. So ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to have many, some wonderful poets who connected from different countries, different corners of the world. As you know, 100 poets around the world for love features 5 poets in each episode. So 5 poets join from different languages, different corners in each episode, and that happens every Saturday at 4 p.m. UK time. And today, the Gronthee and I is hugely delighted to be able to feature some really powerful poets of this time. So let us introduce our poets. But first of all, I would like to invite and introduce. Can I just mute? Because I'm having some other. Right. Okay. Let me introduce the editor of the Gronthee, poet Shamim Shahan, And if you kindly, I'll ask him to start with his welcoming speech, and then I'll go back to introduce other poets of
Thank you.
today's episode. So Shamim Shahan.
Thank you. Good evening. Today is the 6th day of 100 Poets Around the World for Love as part of the Gronthee Facebook Live series. I cordially welcome poet Yashodhara Chaudhury, poet Samah Moustafa, poet Suman, poet Shahed Kayes, poet Sergio Escribano. Poet, friend and my brother, T M Ahmed Kaysher has already introduced about Gronthee initiative. The Gronthee is one of the top platform for South Asian literature, philosophy, and sociology in Britain. We started with bunch of friends at the beginning at early 1990s. That was purely Bangladesh centric. Now it is becoming quite global platform. The people we invite to this platform have created their own location from their respective places. It may be poetry, stories, article, novels, or criticism. From the beginning of the gland to the present day, everyone is going the work in their own. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to those friends, including poet Jofi Setu, poet Mushtaq Ahmad, poet T M Ahmed Kaysher, poet Mahbub Lilen, novelist Ahmad Minhaj, poet Helal Ahmad Chaudhury, poet Fadlur Rahman Babul, poet Laik Ahmed Numan, and many more. The Gronthee has been able to conquer the country and create a unique platform in the world. The series that we have started on the Facebook Live is being watched from all over the world. Greeting and love to all who are watching this show today. Thanks to everyone, including one of our team members who is behind us working, Shaheen Mitul and others. Thank you.
Many thanks, Shamim Shahan. And indeed, a great, a heartiest, a cordial thanks to Mitul for her great support from behind the scene. Let me, we have today actually as part of the series, like I said, some phenomenal poets of this time, but let me start with Suman. Many thanks, Suman, who joined from India, a very prominent poet. Many thanks for joining and a warm welcome to today's show.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me here. Actually, I have seen the last 3-4 episodes of this wonderful initiative, and I hope that this platform, the initiative, it will become a significant platform for the writers, thinkers of not only this region, this South Asian region, but from all over the world actually. And I hope that it will significantly grow. And again, I thank you all for inviting me here. Thank you again very much.
Many thanks. So the idea of this project is to, idea of art itself in general, to associate one corners of the world with the other through wider humanity, through the promotion of art. So whenever we read Latin American literature, for an example, or African literature, the idea, first of all, this is a promotion of magnificence of an individual or artist, but also to explore. So this idea is to merge poets from different worlds so that we can exchange. The world is just one place, and we can make this one place through art form, and we can also promote wider humanity through this art form. We can exchange between us. So we have also a poet who joined from Egypt, an Egyptian prominent poet, Samah Moustafa. Many thanks, Samah Moustafa, for joining as part of the series, and a warm welcome to today's show. Can you hear us, Samah? Perhaps, yes. Great. We can hear you.
Hello everybody. I'm very happy and so proud to be with you. I don't speak English is very good, but I very happy. And it's pottery is very good and the different language. I'm very happy. So
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Samah, for joining as part of today's session, and look forward for your reading very soon. Let me also introduce another poet who joined from India as part of the series, Yashodhara Rai Chaudhury. Many thanks, Yashodhara Rai Chaudhury, for joining as part of the series. Namaskar and a warm welcome to today's show.
Namaskar, and thank you for thinking about me in this wonderful journey of Gronthee. I am really happy to be here, and I heard what amazing work is being done by Gronthee, and you're trying to bring together, sitting in the UK, you're bringing together so many countries' poets, and for the sake of poetry. What better thing could be on earth than this? So I'm very grateful to you and looking forward to this session. Thank you.
Many thanks for your kind words, Yashodhara Rai Chaudhury. Many thanks. We have another wonderful poet, Shahed Kayes, who joined from Bangladesh, a friend and a wonderful poet who has been doing some phenomenal works in relation to the promotion of humanity as well. So many thanks, Shahed, for joining as part of the series, and a warm welcome. You are on mute, Shahed. You perhaps have to unmute yourself manually. Can you hear me?
Now, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. So it's a wonderful session. Thank you, Poet Ahmed Kaysher, poet friend Shamim Shahan, and all the others, those who are involved with the Gronthee. Thank you very much for having me here. If we go back to the 90s, when we started writing poetry, the poems, so the Gronthee, I just wonder, it is really amazing, from a Gronthee, a little magazine from a small town of Bangladesh, Sylhet, and now it's a global platform. It's really amazing. And where many poets and musicians around the world can share their ideas, thoughts, works, literary works, and their views. And it's a really wonderful things. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank poet Shamim Shahan and his team for these excellent initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Shahed. Many thanks for your kind words. We have Sergio Escribano, a phenomenal Spanish contemporary poet. Many thanks, Sergio, for joining as part of the series, and a warm welcome. Can you hear us, Sergio? Perhaps I have unmuted you, so if you kindly, muted you, if you kindly unmute yourself.
Okay. Hi. Well, the viewers, thank you very much for the invitation and congratulations on the initiative. Also, many thanks to the people who are listening to us and who invite our poetry to their daily lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergio. Let us start from Sergio. We will go to each poet. So this will go in turn actually. So we'll start with Sergio, and then we'll go to other poet and other poet, and then we'll come back to Sergio again. Let us start with Sergio. If you kindly read your poem first, and then perhaps let us start with a question first. But let me give a brief introduction on Sergio. Sergio Escribano started writing poetry 15 years ago with an inspiration to express beauty through his verses. I think every poet does. Every poet starts begin to express the beauty. Then he was invited to reside in clandestine bar in Lavapis, and from there he has grown through different environments and formats, traveling a lot, meeting his favorite poets, and performing in different cities and countries. You perhaps went to perhaps read your poetry in Portugal, Slum Poetry Festival, isn't it, Sergio?
In the Portugal Festival of Poetry. Yeah, I
Yes,
don't
Slum
remember.
Poetry Festival. Yeah, that's what I saw in online. So he has 3 books published: For You, The Reason for Me, The Beauty, The Plague, and The Remains of a Map 4 years ago. He also founded a collection that has already become one of the most outstanding in the world. So many thanks, Sergio, again for joining. If you kindly, before we start reading your poetry, if you kindly tell us a bit more what it means to you by the word love. So whenever, I know sometimes it may makes quite a feeling of nonsense. I mean, sometimes love is so much inclined to our blood and so much part of our lives, actually. We find it very difficult to express what love means to our life, or love means to us. So if you kindly tell us, when the love is uttered in front of you, what does it mean to you, or what images you see?
I don't know. I think that I'm going to read in English because I want that the poetry is integrated in the life of all the people. I think that you can make poetry abstract or simply poetry. It's the combination, the simple, okay, inside the poetry is the good job, because we are all different and each one have one form to see the world.
Sorry, what did you say?
What?
Sergio, I missed it. Yeah. Did you say?
What the
Would you like to?
question?
Would you like to say? Sorry.
What?
I mean, would you like to straight go to poetry, or you'd like to say a few words about love? What love means to you?
I'm going to read my poetry now. No?
Oh. Please go on. No, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if you want to make this house over desert. I wonder if you want to make these trains over desert. If you want to make this city over desert. If you want to make this music over desert. I wonder if you want to enter this postcard with me like you monster. If you want to separate our world of the rest. I wonder if you want to live for my voice like an eye-opening joy on the self. I wonder if you want to be my delusion.
You can read another one. Thank you very much. You can read perhaps 2 or 3 now, and then I'll come back to you. But this is also a request to each poet. Sometimes language may be a bit of barrier. So you feel free to talk in the language you write poetry in. So if you'd like to, whenever I ask anything, whenever I ask you, you can, you don't feel obliged to answer in English. So you can talk in whatever language you feel comfortable with.
No, I prefer in English.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. So please feel free. Don't feel obliged to That's why you may find sort of answering a bit harder or difficult. So feel free to talk in the language that you feel more comfortable with.
Okay,
Okay, so
I want
let
to
us.
speak one more in English, and if you want later, I can read one in Spanish, okay?
Okay, yeah, good, great, yeah.
Okay. I was waiting for them to arrive, salts, in the lucky store, and buy me luck by the gram, and wait. So they fell from the sky, the plata, and then go lifting stones, and under a fine one log, and under another, and thus spend my gram of luck, and with my little dignity get another one. A gram of dignity for a gram of luck. They are worth the same. And with more luck, hold on life and start commercing across peninsulas and islands with nothing but luck in his pocket, until lucky to find a place from which you can manage my own harvest of good fortune and start trafficking. Do you want to come to comfortable in the time of love? Don't worry, take it. Good luck. Plata, luck. Take care of yourself, and that, nah. Always much better. Be lucky of quality. Genetic luck? Lucky, not to have splendid and watch the sunrise. Lucky to hear your friends known when the heart opens. Lucky to have found the right verse in the precious poem.
Thank you, Sergio. Beautiful, beautiful poetry. Let me perhaps read some audience's comment. Rezwanullah Arvi said, a beautiful galaxy of world poets. Good evening. Good evening to you, Rezwanullah, from us. Ruhu Rohel, a nice initiative by Gronthee. Thanks to all poets. Many thanks to you, Ruhul, for your comment as well. Gazi Latif, বাংলা এবং ইংরেজি ভাষায় পড়লে ভালো লাগতো. We will try. Many thanks, Gazi Latif, for your comment. Another thing that I would like to request everyone, this is streaming live from the Gronthee's page, and it is available in my page as well, Sergio, Shahed, and all poets. So if you kindly share in your timeline, this is you will find this is streaming live. Perhaps if you subscribe Gronthee, you will see it is streaming live from there, and it is available in Shamim Shahan's page as well. So you can kindly share to your timeline and let your followers be the part of this and poetry, beauty of this hunting verses. I'm sure your friends will like this as well, and especially during this the age of time of self-isolation, this could be a treat to your friends. So please do share and let your friends, let your followers be the part of this beautiful, wonderful session of poetry and poets from different parts of the globe. So many thanks, Sergio. I'll come back to you again. Let us have the next poet, Suman Gun. Many thanks, Suman Gun, again for joining. So let me give a brief introduction on Suman Gun. Professor Suman Gun is a well-known poet and essayist of Bengali literature and is considered as one of the finest poets of 90s. Originally from Kolkata, Mr. Gun is now head of the Department of Indian Comparative Literature at Assam University, Silchar. He is a regular contributor of the various repeated journals, for example, Desh Boyer Desh, Onustu, to name a few. Poet Suman Gun received a special award from Paschim Bongo Bangla Academy and Kritibash Award for contribution to poetry and poetics in 2017 and 2007 and 2008, respectively. He has more than 25 books to his credit so far, including 10 collections poems. He has his last 5 books published by Anando Publishers and Signet are বন্ধ বাগানের বাড়ি, একটি আহত রূপকথা, etc. So many thanks, Suman. Look forward to reading your works quite with a due compliment, with a due contemplation very soon. And before we start reading your poetry, how is Silchar? Are you based in Silchar now?
No. Right now I'm in Kolkata.
Kolkata. So how is Kolkata? How is Kolkata during this COVID? Is that okay? Is that I mean self-isolation in relation to self-isolation and
yes,
infection?
we are all in self-isolation actually. Things are not so good here. Everywhere, we are going through a very pathetic situation everywhere in the world actually, and we can't go out from home. We can't go out. We can't invite friends. We can't go to my friend's house. We can touch anyone. We can feel anyone physically. Actually, it is a very, very pathetic situation we are right now we are in, and I don't know whether will be free from the pandemic or anything. I am not sure whether there will be any light from this pandemic tunnel, you can say it. I don't know. It is not good. It is not a place. It is not a situation where you should live in actually. Yeah. So, but now we are here to write. We are here to speak. We are here to actually share our thoughts, share our thinking actually. So everybody, I think you also, everybody in this right now, everywhere, same kind of experience, I know.
Right. Oh, that's great. So, but for poets and all creative people, this perhaps gave them a huge opportunity to work on the things that are left for many years. Perhaps for reading wise, perhaps we left so many books to read, and this space actually gave us an opportunity to review and read some more. So what are you reading at this moment, and what are you doing apart from
actually, you can
writing?
concentrate. Yeah, you can concentrate on whatever you are doing now. You can concentrate on your thinking, on your writing, on your anything actually. Actually, everywhere people are there are so many chaos everywhere. So many chaos everywhere, and it is not a situation to be in a position to write peacefully. It is not there is no equilibrium of mind. Nowhere you will find any kind of situation, any kind of place where you can concentrate actually. No place actually. I don't know what is your experience there in London. I don't know, but here in Kolkata actually, Yashodhara is also in Kolkata right now. I hope so. So in Kolkata, you can't live. You can concentrate on creativity. Actually, at least I can't concentrate on. But I have to write. I have to write. Though for the last 2-3 months I have not been able to write anything actually. Anything creative actually. Yeah. Some 3, 4, 5 essays were there, but no creative writing. No, I can't. Last 3-4 months I have not been able to write any creative any creative.
Are you reading anything special? Just a very personal question. Are you reading anything special that you can share, perhaps?
Yes,
for us and for
yes.
Anything that
some significant reviews are there. Yes, actually, you were asking about love to my friends here. Actually, I have gone the other day. I have gone through a beautiful collection of poems actually by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. A significant piece of poems.
Exactly.
She is overshadowed by her celebrated husband, but her times she was more celebrated than her sonnets. The beauty is that here the word Portuguese, it does not refer to the language. It does not refer to the language. It is the nickname of Browning for her wife. The letter from the sonnets from the Portuguese, here the word Portuguese does not refer to the language. It is a nickname. It's a nickname for Browning for her, beloved wife.
True.
That is love, actually. That is love. It is distant, and at the same time, it is deep. Actually,
True.
it is distant and deep. Actually, so it is a beautiful piece of work. I started reading it, and I am on it actually. I am on it actually.
Fantastic, great. And then we'll come back to you again. Let us start with 2 or 3 at a time.
Okay. Actually, I have a poem. Actually, it is. I read out the first Bengali version one, then the English translation. In Bangla, name is Hitchcock. কবিতার নাম হিচকক। প্রতিটি ছবির ভাষা অপরাহ্নময়, এত গুপ্ত হত্যা, এত ভয়, অপেক্ষায় আছে প্রতি বাকে। পাশের বাড়িতে যারা থাকে তাদেরই একজন আততায়ী। মাঝে মাঝে মনে হয় তাই হিচকক যেভাবে চান এ জীবন সেভাবেই চলে, প্রতিদিন ছলে ও কৌশলে। That is the original one. Okay. And it is translated by one of the finest poets of Bangla literature, and one of my best friends, Juel Majhar. I don't know whether he is there, if he is watching it or not. Juel Bhai translated it from Bangla.
He does always watch and support. So Juel Majhar, if you're watching this, gratitude from us and gratitude from Suman as well. For bridging different languages through your translation many times.
Right. That's why I took it actually. It's a beautiful piece of translation, Hitchcock, translated by Juel Majhar. The language of every movie has an afternoon in it. So many secret manslaughters. So much panic, wait in camouflage on every of a road. And those that live nearby, the next door neighbors, does the assassin hide among them? So do I think and gaze sometimes. Perhaps that's the way Hitchcock desires. And this life goes on like that, goes on with its own tricks, fraud, and deceit. Good translation. No, it's a fine translation. Actually, it was one of the best translation I have ever had. The next one is
fantastic, great, true. It is a good translation.
Yes. The next one is, first the original one, Bangla. কবিতার নাম দেখা। কলকাতা থেকে কত দূরে এই বাড়ি, এই গাছ, মেয়েটি ঘুরে আমাকে দেখছে, তার চাদরে যে আলো আমাকে এ শহরের ঠিকানা জানালো। হয়তো অনেক দিন পরে অন্য কোনো শহরের পাশ দিয়ে যেতে যেতে হঠাৎ কখনো চোখে পড়বে সামান্য রাস্তায় বিকেলের আলো এসে পড়েছে সে মেয়েটির গায়ে। আবার আমাকে দেখে হাসবে সে। অনেক দিন পরে চলে যেতে যেতে আমি বলবো আবার কোনো দূরের শহরে।
Bah, bah.
That's the original one, and the translation is by Kiriti Sengupta. Kiriti is also one of the very well-known, creative persons of Bangla literature. I think Yashodhara knows him. Kiriti Sengupta, and the translation is: far away from Calcutta, the houses, trees, and the women who turned back to look at me, the light of a stole told me the address of the city. While traveling around another city, a few days later, perhaps, I may come across the same woman, brightened with the afternoon blaze. In an unknown lane, she would smile, long time, and I would say, you never know, somewhere again in a distant city. It's also very good translation.
True.
Right now I don't have any translated poem actually.
You're welcome to read another. True. Please go on with just another one from the original version.
Yes, I can read out the original version, but I don't have the translated one.
No,
actually.
that's fine. That's fine. That's absolutely fine.
কবিতার নাম হচ্ছে এই পৃষ্ঠা। মানুষ হাঁটছে দেখলে মনে হয় বেঁচে আছি, পাতা নড়ে ওঠে।
বাহ, क्या बात।
চারপাশে সাদা পাতা, পাতার পর পাতা, কোনো হস্তাক্ষর নেই। দূরের বাড়ির দিকে চেয়ে থাকি, দূরের জানলায় যদি কোনো মুখ চোখে পড়ে, যদি কেউ বারান্দায় এসে দাঁড়ায়, পূর্ব জন্মের স্মৃতি উস্কে দিয়ে কেউ যদি মানুষের ভাষায় কথা বলে। সম্পর্কের মধ্যে কত থাকে ভূমিক্ষয়, পাশের পাড়ায় থাকে অনুকম্পা প্রবণ সরণী। মধুর সাইকেল দুপুর উদ্বেল করে অনন্তের দিকে চলে যায়। পুরনো বাড়ির মতো, বাড়ির সর্বাঙ্গে স্তব্ধ তপস্যার মতো থাকে কেউ, ঝলসে ওঠা পাড়ার ভেতরে। ভোরের সহাস্য হাওয়া বাড়ি থেকে ডেকে নেয়, সন্ধ্যার আড্ডায় সবাই সদল বলে ভেতরের ঘরে ঢুকে আসে। এখন সমস্ত দিন বাধ্যতামূলক ঘরের ভেতরে থেকে নির্বান্ধব দিন কেটে যায়। ঘরের ভেতরে কোনো ঘর নেই, স্মৃতিচিহ্ন নেই, ফেরা নেই, যাওয়া নেই, অপেক্ষাও নেই। কয়েকটি দেয়াল শুধু চারপাশে পাহারায় আছে। একটি দূষিত হাত দুটো শরীরের মধ্যে এরকমই ঘাতক সর্বসম্মতিক্রমে বিশ্বময় নির্মাণ করেছে। কোথাও গন্তব্য নেই, আগ্নেয়গিরির অবৈধ মুদ্রার দিকে ছুটে যাওয়া নেই, শুধু ভয় আছে, আরতি আছে, অসমাপ্ত কাতরতা আছে।
Fantastic, great. Many thanks. Many thanks for reading these beautiful, haunting verses. Absolutely captivating verses, Shaman. Many thanks. Let us move on to the next poet. Our next poet is Samah Moustafa, an Egyptian poet. Samah Moustafa is a prominent poet from Egypt. She has published 3 books from the Ministry of Culture. She is the cultural officer of the Future Party of the country and head of representative of Tanto literature. So many thanks, Samah, for joining as part of the series from Egypt. Egypt is a very extremely coveted place for many poets in the world. When it comes to Egypt, the word Egypt, we can relate so many things. And then perhaps your poetry, or through your poetry, we will try to connect all those things that you knew about Egyptian literature, Egyptian philosophy, Egyptian anthropology, Egyptian civilization. Anyway, so let us start with Samah now. Before you start your reading, Samah, the same question to you. How is Egypt now in relation to self-isolation, in relation to the spreading of COVID? And if you kindly tell us briefly about what it means to you by love. Whenever you write poetry, whether love inspires you in some ways. So if you kindly tell us briefly about this, and then we'll move on to your reading.
Okay.
But you can speak in your own language, Arabic perhaps. If you find it difficult to describe in or talk in English, please feel free.
No problem, no problem. I can speak Arabic, and someone he is the translate of English. My husband. My
Oh,
husband.
great.
Yes.
Hello everyone. How are you?
Husband is a poet as well.
Hello.
Hello. If you just introduce him,
Hi, how are
what's his
you?
name? He's a poet as well. I know that he's hello. Shivon's 100 Poets for the Change.
Yes.
Samah also joined. Yeah, I joined as part of the series. So she invited me to read my poetry as part of 100 Poets around the world for change. And then that's how I knew about your poetry. And kindly introduce. So what's your name? If you kindly tell us. I know that you are a poet as well. Your husband is a poet as well, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So what's his name?
I'm very happy, and I speak Arabic now.
Please do. But what's his name? What's your husband's name? If you kindly tell us for our audiences and for our panel members. What's your husband's name?
Mohammed Sami.
Mohammed Sami. Yes. Yes.
He is poet.
You are.
I'm a poet also.
Exactly. Thank you.
My
Thank
leader.
you very much. Great. So
Corona,
please talk in Arabic. Yes.
Yes.
Feel free to talk in Arabic.
كورونا في مصر بدأت تقل كتير. الحمد لله. العيد السنة دي العيد مختلف طبعا عن العيد اللي فات علشان موضوع الحظر، لكن الدنيا ماشية كويس يعني. for love، بالنسبة للحب بقى يعني هي نظرية صغيرة كده. هو لو انت قدرت تشم ريحة البرفان او تقدر توصف ريحة البرفان، يبقى تقدر توصف يعني ايه حب. بس.
So حب من love, isn't it? حب من love. Wow,
Yes.
so I know a bit of Arabic. Wow, great.
Hello everybody. Samah says that about the COVID-19 now in Egypt, the matter is better than last months. Now the number of cases is decreased very well. Today we have only 300 cases. I think last month we was above than 1,000. So now it's very nice. I think the next month it will be decreased a lot. So alhamdulillah, everything is okay now. We hope to finish this COVID for يعني I think we all of us hope to finish it. About love, Samah says that love is like perfume. So if we can know the meaning of perfume, or can يعني say what's the perfume, you can say what's the love. Love for Samah is the life. It's the main source for her poets. This is the motor who push her every time to front. So Samah write all of her books with love. Love is her perfume. Okay, so she will read now.
Beautifully described. Yeah. If you kindly read your poem, Samah, many thanks. Beautifully described. Beautifully described.
Thank you, Muhammad.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Mohammed, for your wonderful translation. Okay.
One poem. First poem, وجعك مرتاح. ولأنك عارف مواعيد الجرح اما بينزف بتحضر قطنك وتطيب، ولأنك طيب على الآخر الخير جواك بيتاخر ويوسع للشر مكان ويضيفه. خليه على راحته وبراحتك، فك الأيام من على وشك، فككوا جسمك وباعوه خردة. النهاردة وكالعادة القصة المعتادة، نزلت أسأل على سعر الحب وتوقعت يكون في زيادة، وكالعادة لقيت اليافطة من داسة. حقيقة حساسة يا مشاعر بتتاجر في بيع خسرانة. بأمانة وجعك مرتاح، فازاي تخلي براح النور يدخل اوضتك ويملاها افراح؟ الفرح في قلبي مستلفه، الفرح في وطني اخدوا عليه وصل امانه. بامانه وجعك مرتاح، فاسهر على راحته، ولانك تعب نفسك على الفاضي بتدور على اي محاكمه وتلعب فيها دور القاضي. جواك ساير، جواك هادي، جواك ابيض، لو يلقى الفرصة رح يبهت على كل سوادي. وبنفس العادي لأنك عارف مواعيد ترحالك بتحضر شنطك وتسافر. طريقك من وقت مجالك بيهد الحيل من غير ما تعافر. عافر وابعت قصايد وجعك هي اللي تهاجر. لو راحتك إنك تؤمن بالشر خليك كافر، ولأنك من وقت ولادتك مش عارف مواعيد موتك فبتموت في اليوم مليون مرة. ولأنك من جواك مدفون بره ومخلي مشاعرك على الفطرة، بيفاجئك بكرة بأحزانك ويبدل خوفك بأمانك، مع إن حقيقي بإمكانك تهزم بكرة. على فكرة من كتر الدمع هتقدم سلفة على عيون تانية تساعد دمع، وهتعلن قدام الجمع خوف الخوف المسجون فيك. على مدد الشوف هتشوف قاضيك. فبطل تلاكيك، وبدال ما تحضر قطن جراحك داوي جراحك بنفس الطيبة وبنفس ايديك. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. What a great ups and downs of the words. Such a beautiful, melodious presentation, Samah. Definitely, I mean, did you sing as well? Do you usually sing as well? Because your voice is so melodious. You try to, whenever you try to sing something as part of your recital.
By me.
Yeah. Oh, you sing as well. Do you?
Yes.
Oh, great, fantastic. A poet and a singer. Many thanks. So if you kindly read another one, we'll move on to next poem. Beautiful. Thank you very much for this beautiful presentation.
Thank you. أقول تاني. Next poem. أنا من زمان قوي راسم الوش القديم. أنا من سنين كتار كنت بحفر في العينين طريق النور. انكشف العمر وتجاعيد القلب مجالها الدور، والسور الحابس أحلامي هيهدوا الموت، وهتفضل روحي تايهة في عمري تحسب تجاعيدي. وغريب يا سايب شنطتك وسط التراب، كرباك مشاعرك راح يسافر للسراب. راح أسمعك غنوة رحيلك على الملأ، ربك خلق وتضيع عمره مكان جبان، حالف يبان على حيط وجع مدهون ضباب. From Egypt وتغندر يا مصر لما تتجمعي في حضن لمة وتمدي الفروع تحضن سماكي، ملامح شوارعك ساكنة في هواكي، تثبت جذورك في أرض بور، ارويها وتوضي ببحور وتغندري وقيم الصلاة. من قسوتك علمني ازاي اضحك تاني، والبس الوش الحزين لما ابقى لوحدي، وافتح الضحكة على الضرفتين، يدخلني نورك من الشباك بالزيف، خليك السيف اللي ذبحني، والاسم يعيش وقلبي يموت خارج جسمي، وبعافر كوابيس الواقع بأحلامي، وبلم خيوط العتمة وابني خيوط الخوف، تكسرني أيامي مكسور يا حلم معايا، سايب خوفك جوايا وأنا أصلي حزين. ساعات أبان للعين وساعات أتدارى بغيري، ساعات أحلم لنفسي وساعات أحلم لغيري، فما تكررش مصيري واضحك عشان ما بكيش، وانسى ان انا مت وعيش، فما تجرحونيش، خليني ألملم أحزاني من على صورتك، خليني ألملم أنصاف الناس من على وشك، أنا بكتشفك خيوط بتعلق منها أو بيها، صورتين اتحدوا في صورة مش لايقة عليها، فارميها، اللعبة انكسرت وخلاص، الفقرة ودخلت على الناس ومفيش إحساس يكملنا. Thank you.
Such a lovely presentation, such a lovely and melodious presentation, Samah. We have some comments from Shatabdi Bishash, Odhapok Dr. Gunke Dhundabad, Abul Kashim Tabadar, Khub Bhalo Lagche, Zillur Rahman, who is a poet who has been featured of this series as well. Lovely waves of Arabic poems. Indeed, it is nice to listen to melodious poems. So many thanks again, Samah, for this beautiful melody that you aided to this series. So we'll come back to you again for more poetry. Let us move on to the next poem. Next poet. Next poet is. Let us go to Shahed Kayes. So Shahed Kayes Shahed Kayes was born in Dhaka, Bangladesh. He was brought up in Sonargaon and received his education in different parts of the world, including Sonargaon, Dhaka, South India, and South Korea. Kayes started writing poetry in the early 90s, and he has published 5 volumes of poetry in Bengali, and edited an anthology of Bengali love poems. Kayes's poetry is both the instrumental and outcome of his attempt to come to terms with himself. Kayes is a passionate social worker and a human rights activist with his passion for social change and experience in cultural diversity. Background in creative writing and human rights activism, he is dedicated to people's sovereignty, multiculturalism, rule of law, democracy, and human rights. Kayes and his team are fighting to save the lives and livelihood and environment of approximately 12,000 fisher folks in the Mayadweep, Nunartek Island for the past 10 years. In number of occasions, he put his life in danger while trying to bring about social justice and harmony in the society. So a salute to the great works you are doing, Shahed. Many thanks for joining us part of this series again. And before we move on to your reading, if you kindly tell us briefly, how is Bangladesh in relation to COVID, in relation to the infection, social isolation, and then what love means to you. You've already edited an anthology, love poems. So perhaps the paradigm of love is quite profound to you. So let us explore what it means to you by the word love, and also if you kindly briefly describe
Thank you, Kayser. First of all, I would like to give thanks and
about the COVID situation in Bangladesh.
Okay. Thank you, Kayser, and thanks to all the beautiful and the phenomenal poets from different parts of the world. And I was really enjoying poet Suman and Samara's poetry. It was a great experience, of course, to be in this global platform. And thanks and greetings from Bangladesh to all the phenomenal poets in this Gronthee's virtual dais. The situation of Bangladesh during the COVID-19 pandemic, definitely not good. Situation is severe. Though you know that we have a big population in Bangladesh, around 160 million people. But you know, there is no sufficient corona test all over the country. There is very few corona tests, limited corona test is done by the government, and that is, and also very, as corona test is not done properly, I mean that in the huge population. So exact figure, we don't know how many people are suffering the corona virus and how many people are positive. I guess, and some experts, they think that this number is huge. At least, you know, 1/3 population might be positive. But, you know, the death rate is not much. This is because actually what happens, you know, that maybe our body restriction power is better than the people from Europe and America. That is one of the main reason, because the coronavirus has been spread a lot. There is no doubt about it. But if you see the outcome, I mean, death rate is very few, and many people are not going for the test even. And the hospital situation also not very good. And many people know that 70% of the corona, the specialized hospitals, those government declared for test and for treatment of coronavirus, 70% of those hospitals bed are empty. That means people don't have much trust on the hospital even. So definitely situation not good. And you know that there is a COVID-19 pandemic is going on in this country. At the same time, there's a flood issues. You know, 18 in northern part of Bangladesh and part of Bangladesh are flooded, and people are suffering a lot. So yeah, this is the things. And at the same time, I would like to see the things in different way also. Like যদি আমরা দেখি যে এই যে করোনাকালীন সময়গুলোতে এটা এই যে মানুষ কিন্তু তার নিজের দিকে তাকানোর, তার ফ্যামিলির দিকে তাকানোর একটা সুযোগ পেল। আমি মনে করি যে এই সময়ে আমরা যে লকডাউন সিচুয়েশনে ছিলাম এবং লকডাউনের পরেও এখন যে পরিস্থিতি আছে, সেখানে মানুষ কিন্তু তার নিজের দিকে এবং তার ফ্যামিলির দিকে তাকানোর একটা সুযোগ পেয়েছে এবং তাকাচ্ছে।
Exactly. This truly gave an opportunity to look into ourselves, that we couldn't do in our day-to-day life. We were running for success. We were running behind so many other parameters, but we couldn't look at ourselves actually. And this pandemic gave an opportunity to look into ourselves, as I mean, quite profoundly. Whenever we sleep, we try to look into the whole things very profoundly and try to find some answers. And true, quite rightly said that this gave a huge opportunity for us. So if you kindly tell us briefly about what it means to you by the word love, and then we will start listening your point.
To that, and before that, I just want to say some other things.
Okay.
যেটা সেটা হচ্ছে যে এই যে অল ওভার দ্য ওয়ার্ল্ড এখন যে কোভিড-19 প্যান্ডেমিকের সিভিয়ার সিচুয়েশনের ভিতর দিয়ে আমরা যাচ্ছি পুরো মানব জাতি, তো আমার মনে হয় যে এইটা এর মধ্য দিয়ে মানুষ নতুন ভাবে জীবনকে দেখবে। কারণ এই যে অবস্থাটা, মানুষ এই যে বিজ্ঞান ও প্রযুক্তির অপব্যবহার তারপরে আমাদের জীবনযাপন প্রণালী, জীবাণু ও পরমাণু যে গবেষণা, ওয়ার্ল্ড অর্ডার যে বিশ্ব ব্যবস্থা, এই সব কিছু নিয়ে আমার ধারণা করোনা উত্তর পৃথিবীতে মানুষ এখন নতুন করে ভাববে। এবং আমার ধারণা যে করোনার যখন পৃথিবীতে এই যে কোভিড-19 প্যান্ডেমিক সিচুয়েশনটা থাকবে না, যখন ভ্যাকসিন হয়ে যাবে এবং পৃথিবী একটা নর্মাল অবস্থায় আসবে, আমার ধারণা মানুষ নতুন করে জীবনকে দেখবে, পৃথিবীকে দেখবে। এবং আমরা কিন্তু আরেকটা বিষয় ঘটেছে, সেটা হচ্ছে করোনাকালীন সময়গুলোতে যে পরিবেশ দূষণ কিন্তু অনেক কমে গেছে, এটা পুরো পৃথিবী। তো এই বিষয়ে যে মানুষ নতুন করে ভাববে, এবং আমার ধারণা আমরা একটা ভবিষ্যতে একটা অনেক বেশি মানবিক পৃথিবী পাবো। So,
I hope your assumption becomes true, Shahed. I hope your assumption becomes true. Like you said, one of my friend and a wonderful poet, Sarwari Alam, a wonderful friend of mine, was saying to me the other day that the amount of money we spend for arms and for all unnecessary things to destroy human beings is not even comparable to the amount of money we spend for the well-being of a human being. A hospital, if you try to relate to human treatment, human medication, is so poor in relation comparing with the amount of money we spend for arms and nuclear bombs and all the ammunitions that we try to make. So perhaps this may give an opportunity to the politicians, to the whole mankind, that we need to be reflective on our actions. We need to rethink about what we have done before and try to amend our old wrongdoings. Many thanks for inputting this.
Thank you, guys. And
thank you.
Love is life.
Great. Even this one word says 1,000 things, millions things. Yeah.
To me, love is a natural addiction that helps me to lose control of myself. I think as a human being, I mean that as a normal person, it is important that we should lose control of ourselves sometimes. And love always inspires me in that. And I think I cannot imagine a life without love. And in this world, the world we are living in, you know that actually it is a world of economic globalization, and it is a world of like too much capitalism. It's making a lots of crises in our daily lives, in the world, in the environment, and many other things, issues. So I think that this time we need more and more love around the world. Love for the human beings to other persons, love for the earth, love for the trees, love for the animals. And also we should have, if we love our world, then we must take care about other human beings, and also all the creatures, all the animals, all the trees, about the environment. We should be careful about it. To exist, for our own existence, I think that love is very essential. We need more and more love ever before.
Thank you. Many thanks, Shahed. If you kindly read your poems.
Thank you. First I will read in my own mother language, Bengali, and then I will read the same poem in English, translated. কবিতার নাম প্রতিধ্বনি। গভীরে খুঁড়ের আওয়াজ, রেশার ধ্বনি, তারপর শুধু গতি আর গতি। দিগ্ভ্রান্ত পথ, পায়ে পায়ে হাওয়ার রাজ্য, যেভাবে একটি জীবন নিবৃত্তে শাসিত, কুঠারে সবুজেরা, বৃক্ষ বেজে উঠে যার আঘাতে আঘাতে, সে কি প্রতিধ্বনি। প্রাচীর রহস্য নগরী, ইটের লবণ বিলাস, দোল পূর্ণিমার রাত, জোর বাংলা স্থাপত্যের পাশে তীব্র হাসনা হেনা, সংস্কারে রেখেছ হাত, দুলে উঠে তোমার প্রাচীন বন, মন্দিরে কি থাকে তখন, রেশাদ ধ্বনি, গতি, এক ঝলক হাওয়া, অজন্তা ইলোরা আহা। নক্ষত্র জোনাক পোকা, শস্য ঢেউ, ফাল্গুনের মাতোয়ারা চাঁদ। And now the translation of this poem, and this poem is translated by one of my favorite poets, poet, journalist, and author, Joel Mazhar.
Kya baat. This is Joel Mazhar's day.
It's a Joel Mazhar day.
Yes, Joel Mazhar day, exactly. So, the name of the poem is Echoes. Clamor of hooves, neighs, and then motion and speed. A lost path, and at every step lies a wind's domain. A life's covertly ruled, and all that burdened is ruled by an X. Something causes the trees to reverberate. Is it an echo then? Enigmatic cities of the East, salty luxury of bricks, night of Dol Purnima, the swing festival, a sweet perfumed hasna henna. Beside a Jor Bangla architecture, hands get busy with embellishment. Your ancient forest starts to swing. What lies stored inside the temple then? Knees, speed, and motion, and gust of wind, Ajanta and Ellora caves. Aha. Oh, the constellations, oh, the fireflies, oh, the waters of corns, and the inebriated moon of the spring.
Thank you very much. Could you read another one, Shahed?
The next poem, সন্ধ্যা। কবিতার নাম সন্ধ্যা। সন্ধ্যায় প্রতিটি বৃক্ষ শৈশবে ফিরে যায়, তারা নীল ফ্রক পরে ডাক নামে সাড়া দেয়। প্রতিটি সন্ধ্যা আমাকে কল্যাণঘাটে গৃহাকুল করে, সন্ধ্যায় প্রতিটি ঘরই শূন্য। তার ফেলে যাওয়া নিঃশ্বাস পায়চারি করছে সন্ধ্যায়, ঘর না বাহির, জন না নির্জন, কোথায় মানুষ বেশি একা। The translation of this poem, and it is been translated by a fiction writer, author, and architect Shagufta Sharmin Tania. The name of the poem is Dusk. Each tree goes back to its childhood at every sundown. They wear their blue frock, respond to their nicknames. Each dusk beckons me in the notes of Kalyan to remain home. Each room is empty at dusk. Her sighs perambulate in the dusk. Where is one the loneliest, at home or outdoors, in one company or that of others? Thank you.
Many thanks, Shahed, for this beautiful video. Clap for myself, and I'm sure audiences are enjoying a lot with this captivating, riveting verses of poets from different languages, from different theme, from different culture. Many thanks, Shahed, again. So let us move on to our next poet. Next poet is Yashodhara Rai Chaudhury. Yashodhara Rai Chaudhury is a poet hailing from Kolkata, West Bengal, India, publishing her works since 1993. She has over 12 collections of poetry and short stories to her credit. She was awarded the Kritibas Puruskar in 1998, established by Sunil Gangopadhyay, and also the Punita Sunil Kumar Puruskar, instituted by Bangla Academy in 2006. A few of her books are Pishachini Kabbo, Chiranton Golap Mala, Matribhumi Bampar, Solitaire. She studied philosophy from Presidency College, wow, great, and joined Indian Audit and Accounts Service in 1991. Yashodhara also is a translator from original French language. She has translated Leonardo da Vinci by Sergei Bramley in 2008 and Combat de la Vie by Dr. Luc Montagnier in 2012. So many thanks, Yashodhara Chaudhury again
Thank you.
for joining as part of the series. And before we move on to your reading, let us ask the same question. Let me be a bit fair to each one. How, whenever we interview.
So, two questions. One is that what does love mean to me? And the second one is about the COVID, or
Yeah.
only the first one?
Yeah, you can cover COVID situation,
Okay.
but perhaps Shuman Gun has said something
Already,
about
yes.
so
Shuman
that's
has
why
actually echoed my thinking, because when he
Yes.
said that it's not very conducive to creative work, because all the time, if you're scared and you're under tension, you're always thinking who is the next person who is going to catch it. And so
Sure.
many stories of deaths, so many stories about mismanagement of the hospitals, and very close ones getting it. So it's a terrible time. We are really not able to make contributions in the creative world now. Okay, first let me thank Mr. Kaysher for giving me such a good introduction, and I'm enjoying the readings by the other poets. I would make a request here that we want to hear once in original Spanish by Sergio, if it's possible, because original language has its beauty and music, which we got
True.
from the Arabic one from Shama. It's
Exactly.
wonderful. And about love, yes, I think our young friend Shahed Kayes has already given the definition. It is one of the broadest definitions, which includes everything. Even love of environment is also pure love, love of children, love of animals. And now we should move to a world which is conscious about the environment, conscious about people, about others than human beings. When there is so much of crisis, we understand the value of the others. And also, since I work about gender, I feel that all the panorama of gender should be uh, respected and loved, and we should not keep the word love in the very restricted sense of only man woman love, and we should broaden it, and we should include all the shades in it. So that's what my response
Beautiful.
is.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. If you kindly start reading. So before you start reading, what are you reading at this moment? You're a student of philosophy, and that interest, that is very interesting. When a poet is a student of philosophy.
Yes, but I studied
Also
philosophy very,
artist
very
is
long time
somehow
back.
connected to the philosophy.
Yeah, it's connected, but I studied it long time
Okay.
back. And then I started working as an
Mhm.
accountant, which is totally different from
Accountant,
philosophy.
right.
But my poetry, yeah, maybe my poetry has become the antidote of accountancy,
Wow.
or things like that. So I'm reading now mostly old classics, because I think one goes back to classics when one feels insecure, and
Exactly.
sometimes you read childhood books also, like Leela Majumdar, and I also took down the copy of Mahabharata by Rajshekhar Basu, translated by Rajshekhar Basu. So Mahabharata is
Mhm.
something timeless, so you can read it anytime
Exactly.
and you can connect to it. And I
That's quite
also,
identical now. That's quite that is quite similar to me. So must. I'm reading Buddhadev Basu's Mahabharatir Kotha. So that must.
oh, great. Yes, that is also one of
I'm,
the like best
yeah, I'm
renditions in
reading.
Bangla.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm rereading it. I'm rereading. I read about perhaps 25 or 30 years
Yes,
ago, but now I'm
yes.
rereading it.
Rereading is,
But
I think, rereading is one of the best things you can do during a pandemic situation, because you
exactly.
know that you have never gone back to those classics when you were children or you were students.
True.
You read so many beautiful books, but then you
True.
never had the chance to reread it.
Exactly.
And during the start of the pandemic, I read Albert Camus' The Plague. And
Right.
but then now I think we cannot read such books anymore. We
Phenomenal
have,
fiction. A phenomenal fiction by Camus.
yes, yes.
Fantastic. Great. Yeah. One of my all-time favorite fiction and reflection of existence, his view of existential philosophy. Many,
Yes.
many thanks for answering and for giving your anecdote about reading. So if you kindly move on to your
Yes.
reading, perhaps if you also if you have the translation, if you kindly read the
I
translation.
will
But
start
please,
with the original Bangla and then I will
exactly,
read the English.
exactly. But you please don't feel obliged to have the translation, because original language has its own way, own smell. Like you mentioned, every word from different language is so melodic, so melodious, so poetic, and so musical. I'm sure audiences from from non-Bengali or non-Indian audiences will at least get the smell, get the picture of a language, of a different language.
Okay, I'll start then.
Thank you.
Bari
Take it
Jabo.
forward. Yeah, please do.
The name of my poem is Bari Jabo. রাশি রাশি ঢেউ এসে বলে তাকে বাড়ি যাব বাড়ি যাব। আকাশের পেলব নীলের মধ্যে ফুটে ওঠা রোদ্দুরও বলেছে বাড়ি যাব আমি। একদা নিবিড় দিনে প্রেমিকের উষ্ণতার হাত, সেও তো বাড়ির লোভ দেখিয়েছে তাকে। বাড়ি যাব
Baba.
বাড়ি যাব বাড়ি যাব আমি। ঘুমের ভেতরে যেন ভেঙে পড়ে ঝুপ ঝুপ পাড়, সরু দড়ি ধরে আর বাঁশের সেতুটি ধরে পারাপার হয়। মধ্যে তীক্ষ্ণ নদী, ভেসে যাওয়া পাথর পাথর, বাড়ি যাব এই সেতু পার হলে বাড়ি।
Aha.
ঘুমের ভেতরে যেন দিকে দিকে আগুন জ্বলেছে। তুমুল আকাশ থেকে বারবার এলো বজ্রপাত। পুরনো হারানো ঘর, নব নব ঘর হারানোকে জাগিয়ে উজিয়ে দিয়ে পথ করে দিয়ে চলে গেছে। এই তো আবার আমি উদ্বাস্তু হয়েছি পথে পথে, এই তো আবার আমি কেঁদে কেঁদে ফিরেছি ভিক্ষায়। বাড়ি যাব বাড়ি যাব
Aha.
বাড়ি
Yabat.
যাব বাড়ি যাব বলে।
Yabat. এই বাড়ির খোঁজ তো এই বাড়ির সন্ধানে
We are in
ঘুরে
search,
বেড়াচ্ছে
yes,
দেশ
eternal
থেকে
search
দেশে
for home.
সার্চিং। এক্স্যাক্টলি একদম নাভি মূলে কেঁপে উঠলো কিন্তু অস্তিত্বময় চেপে উঠলো। বাবা বাহ, বাড়ি শব্দ বলার সঙ্গে সঙ্গে কথাই যেন একটা শিহরণ জাগে। থ্যাংক ইউ।
So this has been translated by my daughter, Chirayata Chakraborty. She is a student of English literature. She has translated this poem for me. I'll go home. Swarms of waves come to tell her, let's go home, let's go home. Slivers of the sun that peep through the mellow blue sky tell her, let's go home, please, let's go home. Her lover's warm hands, in a tender moment, they tempted her with the dream of a home. Let's go home, let's go home, let's go home. The banks, keeled over, sink in her sleep, hold on to the fragile ropes, cross the bamboo pool, an edged river, jagged rocks washed away, but cross it and you are home. In her sleep, flames surround her. The sky splits with lightning. An old homelessness fans and awakens a new one. It parts away and leaves. I am a refugee again on the streets. I return in tears to beg. I'll go home, I'll go home, I'll go home.
Wow, what a mystic delineation of an eternal search. Thank you.
It has been written very recently. Actually, I was posted in another state, and then after the lockdown, I could not come home. So for 2 months, I was unable to come home, and that time I wrote this. And in fact,
this home could be interpreted in many different ways.
Yes,
exactly. That is the dexterity of poet. Great. Thank you. Thank you.
So should I read another one?
If you kindly read another one, yeah, thank you.
Okay. This one is called Khoto. যতটা বেদনা তুলতে পারো তত নিচে যাবে কুয়োটির, যত নিচে চলে যাচ্ছে দড়ি বালতি তত বেদনা তুলেছে, ওঠা আর পড়া আর শেষ অবধি যাওয়া, এই লেখা বলে দেবে ক্ষত আজ কতটা গভীর। So the same Chirayata has done the translation, my daughter. The wound, the more agony you lift, the further you slip down the well, the further the rope descends, the more suffering the bucket draws, rising and falling and moving till the end. This writing will tell the depth of the wound.
Thank you very much, Yashodhara Chaudhury, for reading two wonderful poems. Let us move on to Sergio again. Hello, Sergio.
Hello.
If you kindly, yes, thank you. And if you kindly read some poetry written in actual Spanish.
Okay.
Spanish language.
Wait a moment.
How is Spain in relation to COVID now?
I'm in the capital, you know, in the center of Spain, in the middle of Peninsula Iberica. Okay, come on. Okay, this poem name is La Piel. Espero que lo disfruten. Uno se pregunta qué queréis que os diga, qué le falta a cada calle para hacernos bella a cada hora, qué queréis oír de boca ajena que está esperando cada boquita. ¿Qué mentira o empujón nos pone en marcha? ¿Qué fuego demanda cada atardecer para incendiarnos? ¿Qué petición? ¿Qué palabras hay que desnudar para que el tiempo y el sueño se junten sin hacer daño en el guión? Uno se pregunta si no será que en realidad cada cual lo que necesita es su propia lengua disecada en cada esquina. Pasos de baile, voces de máscaras, bordar el tiempo, llanto del viento, a saber. Uno se pregunta qué clase de mentira queréis que salga de mi boca. Si algún espejo nos desgrava, que va a dejar escapar en la sopa del tiempo muerto que queda en el plato. Qué rota está la integridad. ¿Cuánto falta para llegar a casa? ¿Cuánta mierda hay que tragar para echar alas? ¿Y cuánto espacio hay que evitar al despegarlas? Uno piensa que no hay nada que hacer, que está indefenso contra el ego y su maquinaria gutural, que tiene sus límites, que la tierra no me necesita como nosotros no necesitamos más poetas. Y uno dice que a la mierda, que le den por culo a los lectores de poesía, a los escritores, a quien tenga algo que decir y a quien esté esperando que le digan lo que necesita. Sales a la calle y aún bajo la lluvia hay 1000 personas dispuestas a bailar bajo la rima, a enfermar de emoción mientras el tiempo pasa y no hace falta ni un poeta que inaugure el mundo ni quemar el mobiliario urbano de la imaginación en cada plaza, ni un piano que ventile el corazón. Solo cuchillos que corten bien los cuerpos encarnados en la nada de la piel de los delfines que habitamos.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you kindly read another one, if that's okay.
One more? Okay.
Yeah, please do.
Wait, I need to... Okay. Me daba igual la tarde. El niño del semáforo en la mano de su madre, que hubiera tropezado con el perro y que el perro se aguantara la meada hasta llegar al parque. Me daba igual, yo ya me iba. Me daba igual también el ejercicio de mi ojo deformado, colorear metáforas sobre el paso de peatones, el parque cutre asalvajado, los matorrales con su veto cultural. Somos salvajes, no eres mi patio. Y ya me iba y me da igual, no tiene sentido cuidarte, aunque imagine que me gustaría un bucle ilimitado de caricias y sonrisas y bocados y momentos de la vida imaginaria que crucemos o cruzamos. No me da igual, pero me iba. Se ha retirado el equipo productor de los guiones que empuñaban el intento de conquista de tu mente y se dedican al ejercicio artesano del sketch publicitario. Y no es que hicieran a disgusto su trabajo, es que yo ya me iba. No soy de viajar cargado y no me gusta dejar nada para nunca. Yo no padezco nunca. Somos salvajes, no espero nada, yo ya me iba. Y tú no esperes nada nunca de mí.
Thank you. Many thanks, Sergio. Just a cordial invitation for you. Whenever we can manage to do International Poetry Festival here in London, the Gronthee International Poetry Festival,
Ojalá.
you are cordially invited. I know that you attended in many countries with your poetry. You joined in many festivals. You joined the Portugal Slam Festival, and you are cordially welcome whenever you can manage to do the Gronthee International Poetry Festival here in London. You will be in touch very soon. And if you kindly share those poems that you read today, if you don't have any objection, to the email address I will send you, because this will be anthologized in a book. A book of an anthology will be published soon after this series is over, on the poetry that are being read and that will be read as part of the series. So thank you. Yeah.
Very thanks. Happy about. Congratulations.
Thank you. Many thanks, Sergio. Look forward to meeting you, not just through Zoom. Look forward to meeting you in live events, and when COVID is over, this will be a great opportunity for us to meet and exchange our poetic thoughts. And that is the idea behind this activities that we are doing. So hopefully COVID will be over soon, by perhaps this year end, by the end of this year. And we will be able to meet, exchange, mingle together, and especially at the Gronthee International Poetry Festival. Thank you again, Sergio, for reading a beautiful poetry. We will come back to you again for your concluding note, just your concluding note, and let us move on to the next poet. Many thanks again. Suman Gun. Our next poet is Suman Gun. We are approaching to the end, so this is your last opportunity to read perhaps about 3 or 4 poems at a time, if that's okay. And if you kindly tell us briefly just briefly, why poetry is so important to you? Is it just the only communication that you can express yourselves, or you find yourselves better when you can write poetry?
Poetry, yes. Actually, through poetry, I can express myself. I try to express myself through poetry. I don't know whether I am able or not. Whether I am able or not, I don't. I am not sure about my, about whether it is expressed as well as I think. But I am not sure. But to express myself, I don't have any other medium. No, I don't have other medium. I can't sing. I do love singing actually, but I don't have the capacity to sing actually. I can't, actually, even I can't write a short story or novels at least. So this is the only lone medium which I can rely on. I can express myself through poetry. Only the medium which I am flexible with actually. So I try to express myself through poetry. I don't know whether it is at all. It is expressed at all actually as well
As the way
as
you
I.
want to. As the way you want to. Yeah.
It is the only medium. It is the only
You
medium which I can express myself through.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If you can read about 3 points, if that's okay.
Actually, I have just found a poem which got translated, and I have with me the translated one also. So I read out the first original one and then the translated one. Actually, the translated one is better than the original one. In this case, actually, at least the Bangla is Meg. এখন কেমন আছো? চারপাশ আলো করে আজও রাতের জানালা খুলে যায়। ঘরে ঘরে ভোরের আলোর মতো সুখ। দূরের সমুদ্র থেকে মাঝে মাঝে হাওয়া উঠে আসে। আসক্তির নুন ধুধু কিছুটা সন্ন্যাস সে হাওয়ায় মিশে থাকে। তোমার সুবেশ ব্যস্ততার পাশ দিয়ে অনন্তের দিকে বয়ে যায়। That is the original one, and it got translated. It was translated by my friend, a poet himself, Bishwajit Chattopadhyay. He translated it. How are you now? How are you now? Glowing all sides even today, night windows azure themselves. In all nooks, happiness steals like the morning gleam. At times, wind flutters from the distant sea. Salt of addiction, blazing expanse, remain fused with your handsome attire, flows by your busyness towards eternity. That was translated by my friend Vishwajit, and he a renowned poet also of Bangla literature. The next poem, it has no translation with me right now. I read out the original Bangla. শোক তোমাদের ছবি দেখে টের পাই আমারও বয়স হয়ে গেছে। 30 বছর পরে ফেসবুকে ডাক দেয় স্কুলের বান্ধবী। চুলে রং, সারা মুখে 40 ঊর্ধ্ব হাসি। গলায় ফর্সা হয়ে জমে আছে গৃহিণীর মেদ। শুধু চোখের পাতায় কৌতুকের চেনা টানে পুরনো দিনের হাওয়া বুকে এসে লাগে। আমারও তাহলে এত বয়স হয়েছে। The 2 points actually.
Bah. Thank you very much. We'll come back to you perhaps for your concluding note. Let us move on to Shahed Kayes. Samah Moustafa. If you kindly read 1 or 2 poems, if that's okay. As your concluding reading.
Again, please, Ahmed. Again, please. I don't. Again, please, Ahmed.
Yeah,
Again,
if you kindly read your concluding another 1 or 2 points. If you kindly read another 1 or 2 points.
Okay.
Before we are approaching to the end.
Okay.
of the session.
تذكرتك عارفة طريقها فما تتوهاش، أصلها ببلاش. السكة 2 مش متقابلين ولا متخاصمين ولا حتى في نية مش راجعين لو نتقابل. وانت القاتل ويا ريتك فاكر قاتل مين. أنا اسمي حزين مش عارف اسمي ده على جدي، فأوام بعني بحبة فرح. الكيلو بكام؟ متأجر جرحك للجرح وحبيبتك تعبت مش شرح. ما احناش للبيع مهما السكة مش قبلاك، ما انتش للبيع مهما حاولت تبقى هناك، ما انتش للبيع مهما مضولك على ورقة وبكل مصدق اني معاك، ما احناش للبيع. يا أنا بترقص جوايا واللحن حزين، هتجيبي منين عيون تانيين تقسم ويانا البكا. البكا اشتكى وانت واقف على القضبان مستني السكة تتغير أو تتسمر أو قطر الحزن يلم شنط ويفوتك. ملعون موتك لو مش عارف مات مين جواك. الموت مات والكل مات عليه من كتر العياط. تعرف في حياة البنات تعرف تعمل كام ضفيرة بفيونكات. كان دايما قاعد يحلم إننا واحد وإن أنا عاقل وإن جميع الساكنين فيا يبقوا رواحل. كانت واثقة إني نبي الله لكن مش عارفة الترتيب، ولما تشوفني أحتسي خمرا تقول للخلق وماله مش عاقل. بكاها دعاء كانت بتتيمم بالماء، كانت حاجة فوق خيالاتنا وفوق أشعارنا، كانت شعبة من حياء. دلوقتي في عز البرد بتعريني وتندي جبيني بأفكارها، بتودي الروح من برفانها وورا كرفانها ضلين ساكنين. الظل بيتكلم من امتى خيالنا بنطبقه واقع، ولا واقعنا بيمشي اموره من غير احلام. كان اسمها احلام ومن امتى الحلم بيقبض روحه ملك الموت. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Many thanks. I'll come back to for your concluding note perhaps, but we are approaching to the end. Shahed Kayes, if you kindly read 1 or 2 poems.
কবিতাই পড়ছি। First I read in original my mother language,
Good.
poetry. কবিতার নাম দূরে কোথাও বিয়োগ চিহ্ন। শূন্যে ভেসে বেড়ানো মেঘ কি স্বাধীন, উড়ছে তো উড়ছেই ভয়হীন গন্তব্যহীন। কেবলই শূন্য হচ্ছে সময়টা এমনই, আমার চেয়ে যেদিন লম্বা হবে আমার ছায়া, বুঝতে হবে সূর্য না অস্ত যাচ্ছি আমি। বিচ্ছেদ থেকে বিচ্ছেদে যেতে যেতে দূরের সম্পর্কে বিধে রয় অস্তগামী সূর্য। 7 রং রোদ হয়ে ছড়িয়ে পড়ে মনে, উড়ে যাচ্ছ জলকানা শ্রাবণের ভাসমান দৃশ্যমান বিনীত স্ফটিক, পায়ের তলায় থাকুক আমার ছায়া। So this poem is translated by my friend and fiction writer architect and author Shagutta Sharmintania. The name of the poem is A Minus Sign Somewhere in the Distance. The clouds above in the deep nothing, they are so boundless, floating endlessly, fearless, directionless. In these times, I'm just becoming empty. Someday, soon, my shadow will be longer than me. Realize that it's not the sun, but I that am sitting. Floating from the separation to the other, the setting sun pierces the distant relationship. A seven-colored sun unfurls in my mind, like the spray of the monsoon, afloat, apparent, precariously dangling crystals. You are flying away, let my shadows stay under my feet, rooted. Next point. I'm reading first Bengali, the original. কবিতার নাম কাঁটাতারে ঝুলে আছে বাংলাদেশ। আমি ভালো নাই বন্ধু, আজ আমি ভালো নাই। রক্তমাখা হাত বাড়িয়ে বন্ধুত্ব চেও না কখনো আর। কাঁটাতারে ঝুলে আছে বাংলাদেশ, সীমান্তের ওপারে চলছে তামাশা বিচারের নামে। হায়রে আমার সরকার বাহাদুর, আর কত নত জানু, দুহাত ছড়িয়ে ঝুলন্ত ফেলানির বিস্ফোরিত দুচোখ, সমগ্র পৃথিবী দেখুক, জাগ্রত হোক বিশ্ব মানবতা, ৫৬,০০০ বর্গমাইল জুড়ে আজ সুখের ছায়া। This poem is translated by poet, journalist, and author Jewel Mazhar. The name of the poem is Bangladesh Hangs from the Barbed Wire. I'm not okay, buddy. Today I'm not okay. Extending your bloody hands, never ever seek amity. Bangladesh hangs from the barbed wire. And on the other side of the border, a charade is going on in the name of trial. Alas, our honorable government, how much time to further bow to Felani? The murdered teenage angel keeps on hanging with her stretched hands, with her eyes wide open. Let the whole world see. Let humanity wake up. A shadow of lamentation now spreads across 56,000 square miles. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Shahed, for reading this beautiful two poems again. Let us go back to our last poet, Yashodhara Chaudhury. If you kindly read another poem, perhaps. And then we are extremely approaching to the end, actually. And if you'd like to conclude, add your concluding note as well.
Okay, then I will just read one poem in Bangla.
Okay.
No translation now.
Okay.
কবিতাটার নাম হলো বৃষ্টি নামে। বড় বড় ফোঁটা নামে, বৃষ্টি নামে সহস্র ধারায়, নিজেই নিজের মধ্যে মূর্ছিত হয়েছি অতএব। আবেশে মন্দ্রিত হয় মাটি আর বৃষ্টির কামনা, এমন দিনটি ভালো, সঙ্গী কিন্তু প্রয়োজন নেই। এমন দিনেই তারে না বলা কথাটি বলা ভালো, বাজে সেটি মনোমাঝে আর, সে ফাটা রেকর্ড বেজে গিয়ে সুবিশাল চার্জ আসে এক অঢেল প্রণয়, নিজেই নিজের মধ্যে সে প্রণয় পাক খেয়ে ফেরে। তারপর গান আসে ভবদেহে স্বর্গীয় সঙ্গীত, বড় বড় ফোঁটা নামে আবেগের, রতি উৎপাদনে আমাদের ক্লান্তি নেই, একা একা শিহরিত দেহে, বৃষ্টি ভিজলে ঘরে যাও ঠান্ডা লাগবে, এ কথা বলার কেউ না থাকাটি ভালো, বিবাদ ভঞ্জন। আরো ভালো যুগ প্রয়োজনে নিজ চক্ষু, নিজ কর্ণ, নিজ হাত, নিজ ঠোঁট, নিজ বুকে চুম্বন ঝরানো। I express my gratitude to Gronthee, to our host, Mr. Kayser, and to Shamim Shahan, who invited me. And also I'm extremely thankful to all my fellow panelists. সবার খুব ভালো লেগেছে, সবার কবিতাই খুব ভালো লেগেছে, আলোচনাও খুব ভালো লেগেছে। Thank you so much.
Many thanks, Yashodhara Chaudhury, for joining as part of the series. Suman, if you'd like to add as something as your concluding note. We are actually...
Thank you everybody actually for inviting me, and I hope that this initiative, it is a wonderful initiative taken by Gronthee. I would like to thank everybody associated with Gronthee, and I hope that the platform will be a significant one as far as the literature of this South Asia is concerned. And I also I would like to thank all of my fellow poets here present. Thank you again very much.
Many thanks, Shahed Kayes. If you'd like to add something as your concluding note, please.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to express my heartiest gratitude to you, Ahmed Kaysher, and also my friend Shahan, for this to arrange for these extraordinary arrangements and these ideas, and that's my gratitude. And I wish this platform will go on. It will make a difference in the literary field around the world.
Thank you.
Thanks to all the panelists, fellow panelists, and it was a great time to pass together to listen the poetry and discussions. Thank you very much.
Many thanks. Samah, would you like to add your concluding note?
I'm very happy. Thank you. It was a great time. Thank you to be on one of this girls' great event. If I understand, if I don't understand any language, but I understand the feeling of the sense. Thank you. I'm really I'm happy. Thank you.
Many thanks, Samah. Would like to see you in live events in London very soon as part of Gronthee International Poetry Festival. Sergio,
Inshallah.
if you'd like to add your concluding note, please.
Okay.
Sergio, can you hear us? Right.
Sorry. Oh, yes.
No, that's fine. If you kindly add your concluding notes.
Sorry, I was speaking in other line. Do you listen to me?
If you add your, we approach to the end now. So if you kindly add your concluding note, if you want to, anything in the end. If you'd like to add anything in the end, anything in the end. If you'd like to say anything in the end.
One more poem, okay. Fine. Calle, somos calle. Fuimos sombra, fuimos nombre. Fuimos, somos, seremos versos, besos y caricias. Dejamos sin agujas los relojes radicales. Somos rocas intifadas, somos luchas, somos cumbres, somos gritos, somos astros constelados. Somos malabaristas con los dedos de los pies en el pico de un acantilado y saltamos. Las olas que arrullan con la yema roce a roce, cada plaza de ceniza. Somos artistas y jugamos con el arte hasta que nos duele la melancolía. Somos la tierra, somos guerra interior en compañía y nos abrimos en canal y salpicamos sangre de colores al dolor y sus alrededores. Nada en el bolsillo porque no nos hace falta, porque somos de oro y plata. Alegría a las espaldas, más vivir en los tejados por tocar detrás de nubes. Somos 20.200 infinitos, somos todos, somos una, que bebe de un sorbo cada vaso de esta penumbra imaginaria de esta vida y de las otras, coño. Cuando esté bajo la lluvia saltaré el reflejo, saltaré los charcos que llenan la luna y las farolas, y en los charcos salto y viajo y caigo en este suelo desgastado y clandestino, té, cerveza, cigarrillos. Hablaré de naufragar con voz de bucanero verde y la luz tenue, expectación, expectación, silencio. Tú duerme, tú sueña. Yo hablo y recuerdo sueños y soñadores en corro, citas ciegas. Ponte guapa, ponte guapo, ponte tú. Noches de poesía. Gracias.
Thank you very much, Sergio, for joining as part of the series. And many thanks to all of the poets who have read their poems and made this session so enjoyable. If Shamim Shahan could add your concluding note before we end.
Thank you, Kaysher. Oh, sorry, I'm just unmute. Thank you, Kaysher. Many thanks, poet Yashodhara Chaudhury, poet Suman Gund, poet Shahed Kayes, poet Sergio Escribano, and poet Samah Moustafa for joining Gronthee critically acclaimed initiative 100 Poets Around the World for Love. Many thanks for your beautiful contribution. Just let you all know that poems which have been read and will be read as part of this series are getting published in our next publication, which I believe will serve as a diary for all writer friends around the world. Thank you. Stay well. Thank you so much for joining us today.
So many thanks to all of the poets, all of the panel members for joining as part of the series. So please stay tuned next Saturday at 4 p.m. We will feature some more poets, some wonderful poets of this time from different parts and different corners of the world. And many thanks to all the audiences who watched this and shared this, supported this great initiative to merge the world into one, to connect from one corner to another and make the whole humanity as one through the beauty of poetry. So many thanks to all of you again and again, and have a wonderful rest of the evening. Just when I'm finished, Brighton Sea is just near to me. I will go and start working the beauty of Brighton. As this live is being broadcasted from Brighton, a beautiful city of seaside. So many thanks. Enjoy your time. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
All of you again.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much.